Good morning, Happy New Year. The COT data video for the 2nd of January 2024. You can see the euro is strong. We are definitely quite into positive territory. We had like a knee-jerk reaction last couple of weeks, so that's of note. And obviously there's going to be a little bit of supply up here, and we did tick higher ever so slightly, 114 to 117. So there was an increase. The dollar underwent a decrease, so we can see we've gone from 3,942 to 3,137. So a slight decrease, a slight tick down, a slight tick up. So that's of note. Let's look at the yen. And this is the first time I've seen this, so we'll see how we go. That's fine. A little bit of yen strength. We did probably got a bit oversold, to be fair, and it looked like we had to get some central bank intervention on a rhetorical sense, because it was just going to free fall mode and it got a bit silly. And they're talking about moving away from the negative interest rate policy, so that's going to be a big deal for the yen. And we might even go into positive territory this year. It's hard to say. We've had a big increase on yen contracts. Okay, so that's of note. Slight tick down on the dollar, slight tick up, big increase on the yen. All right, take euro off. We'll put on Aussie. This has been quite erratic, and slight tick down, and it looks like we might get the AJ sell set up. Pending the next COT release, if they sell the Australian dollar, we're going to get an AJ sell, and pending that, of course, they go long on yen, we're going to get an Aussie yen sell set up. So that will be traditionally risk off indication, so that's of note. Okay, so that's quite interesting, to be fair. We'll take off Aussie and CAD. Oh no, sorry, missed pound. Pound's kind of important. Pound tick down with the dollar, so nothing, we can't trade that. And it's a good job you sat on your hands as per recommendation about the pound USD, because it looked like we had the pound USD buy, but it looks like we're making lower highs on pound USD. So technically not in a great place for it. Now on the COT data, it's also not looking that great either. If that was ticking higher, then you could probably look for pound USD longs, but this is ticking down with the dollar. Okay, so a little bit weak on the pound. CAD on. CAD shot up. The oil prices are going to be moving quite a lot this week, and don't forget the banks will be waking up around New York time today, so we're going to see quite a lot of movement today, I think, in commodities and the dollar. So this is obviously going to impact the Canadian dollar, the price of oil. So we're negative, but we are below the zero line. We've still got a bit of way to go. And note that we did have quite a lot of resistance above the zero line, and it got sold off quite heavily in quite a free fall mode on the CAD. CAD off, done the euro. Gold we can look at, and we ticked higher. 188, 2001, 201,000, 207,000. Alright, so they are increasing quite a bit, and the herd are selling gold quite heavily as well, so that's like a bit of a cocktail for price, so got to be careful with that one. And there's going to be a load of stops up here on gold. It might want those stops potentially, and then we can look at the Kiwi and then finish up with the Swiss franc, and we're just sideways. We always have been on the New Zealand dollar, and we see a lot of movement from the crowd on the Kiwi over Asia, and whatever they do, they kind of get chewed up. Right, so sideways on the New Zealand dollar, so you probably just maybe want to avoid that from a COT perspective. And I guess the same with the Swiss franc. Yeah, we might get a breakout into zero, which would be interesting. We had a reaction there, didn't quite make it, and it got sold off again. So we might see the Swiss strengthen here. So it already is strengthening on FX, but we might have to see that take some time to be translated into price. So if we see this increase, we could see more Swiss strength, so be careful with the Swissy, especially as the S&B have been intervening on price as well. They said they're not anymore, but because they said that, it probably means that they are. Alright, so you've got to be careful with the Swiss franc, And so I suppose the quick summary is probably this is going to be an okay setup potentially. This might be something to look at maybe this week, next week. So AJ sell. Okay, so that's just a quick one there. And enjoy your day, and I'll speak to you guys tomorrow.